Welcome into another OUA season preview. This time for Connor's alma mater, the Garnet and Grey, the Ottawa Gee-Gees, and we have with us star cornerback Kevin Victome. Kevin, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
What's going on, guys? Pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here.
All right, we're going to start it off on your side of the ball. You guys have a loaded secondary full of veteran players, you yourself included.
Yes, sir.
What's it kind of like to go through your career with some of these guys and then add a couple pieces here and there?
I was lucky that I was able to start in my rookie year and I was surrounded by a lot of vets that put me in the right positions. So they kind of showed me what it was like to put guys on that were younger than me. So like as I got older and the other guys joined the board, it was my responsibility then to kind of give them the same welcoming that I got, which is what put them in such a good position. Going into this year, we have, like you said, we have a lot of talent at the DB side of the ball. A lot of speed, a lot of strength. I'm looking forward to it. There's a few guys that haven't gotten the recognition they deserve yet, and this is a big year for them. And there's also a few guys that have gotten the recognition they deserve, and they just want to get some more, right? We're focused on a bigger goal, which is being one of the best secondaries in the league. So we have a long path ahead of us, but we know we have our mindset fixed on what we want to accomplish this year, and we have good chances of doing so.
Go, Connor. I know you're itching to ask.
I am. Yeah, this is an exciting one for me, but I just want to talk to you about playing in Coach JV's defense because I know it's a fun defense to be a part of. He lets you guys play loose and fast and go make those plays. So just talk about that defensive scheme because I know for DBs it's a lot of fun to be in.
Yeah, JV is a great defense coordinator. Honestly, like you said, he lets us be the ballers that we are. Right, his deal is as long as we can make it work. And everyone has their responsibilities, and we do such as like we do what we're supposed to do. He's okay with it. So if some guys has a responsibility and I have a different responsibility, and we agree before the play, you take mine, I take yours. As long as it works, it's fine, right? It's when one of us messes up, we have a bust, then we got to take it out the playbook. So our whole thing as the starters is, guys, we got some stuff we want to try out. We got some good ideas, but we can't miss. It's got to work every time. And as long as we do that, it's like we can fly the ball, we can make plays, we can disrupt the offense in ways that they don't see coming because we're literally just taking each other's responsibilities.
Now, as you guys kind of move as a veteran unit, how do you bring up, like, I know you talked about bringing up guys into the secondary with you, but when it's not in your position group, like younger linebackers or defensive linemen, how do you guys, as that veteran group on the defense, kind of take control in the meeting rooms?
Honestly, it's the goal this year is to be unified, right? The goal is really it's not to separate ourselves into DBs, D-line, and linebackers. We're really a defense. So what we've done this year is we've taken upon ourselves to meet outside of the scheduled football meetings, just the players, DBs and linebackers, sometimes linebackers and D-line, and we just talk about things and prepare for things like player to player rather than coach to player, and that frees us up and that makes us more comfortable because we know that we trust ourselves, we discussed it, and it's always nicer to hear it from your teammates than it is to hear it from a coach, right? So our whole goal with our defense as a unit is to be one, right? It's not DBs take care of pass, D-line take care of run. D-line can take care of pass and maybe we'll take care of the run, It's really, we got to work together and not separate ourselves, and we have to make sure that we meet together as a group without the coaches because that's where we can be ourselves. That's when we can talk freely, and that's when we can really plan and make things happen. So that's the biggest thing for us as a defense is just one unit, one goal.
We know you just had your team on team scrimmage. You talked about, getting together as a unit and laying the groundwork. For the team on team stuff, the pad on pad scrimmage, how important is it to have those types of live reps to see all that work kind of play out that you've put together, like, in spring camp, now in training camp coming up and on your own?
It was huge. It was huge. I can speak for myself. Honestly, I love to tackle, right? I love to make plays on the ball. I'm not just a cover guy. And I got in some situations during the scrimmage where I was like, dang, I forget how to tackle. I forget how I do this stuff, right? So it was like kind of like shaking off the rust and like a little bit of awakening, because when we practice, we fly to the ball, we thud up, we tag off, but it's not the real thing. The guy doesn't fall to the ground, and you don't have the down and distance. Ball doesn't move as much. It was nice to really get it live and in action where it's in game situations and you got to make a play. And I think that I can speak for myself and the rest of the defense when I say that we needed this because it was an awakening that we wanted before week one, right? A lot of guys went into this game thinking that we were set, we were good, we were gonna have a great week one. And after the game, we finished like, whoa, we got some work to do. So I think that that was the key thing is that you need to go through those things before week one, right? And our goal is to obviously the tackling from week 1 to week 8 is going to improve drastically, but our goal is to not wait until week 8 or week 6 to be at our best. We want to start off week 1 where we're going to finish off. So it was nice because, like I said, it was an awakening that we much needed. We call that humble juice, and there was a lot of humble juice going around for everybody. So you take it with a grain of salt, you watch film, and you get better. That's what all I can say about that.
All right, now offensive side of the ball here. Obviously, the guys who I'm guessing serve the humble juice at the scrimmage. Kind of talk about the offense and what they've got going on this year.
Well, I can say the GG way is speed, right? What we want is speed all across the board on offense and defense, and we got plenty of that at the running back position, at the receiver position, and our quarterbacks can surprise you with a little bit of speed too. So I think that the best thing we have right now going for us is our ability to stretch the field and make plays. When the ball's in our hands, we can make plays on a 2-yard out. You know what I'm saying? So I think that the offense, as camp advances, obviously the defense flows to the ball faster and they learn their plays faster. It takes offense a little while to adjust, but once they hit that gear, they're gone, and it's beautiful to see. We have a lot of guys on the offensive side of the ball that can make plays happen, and it's always nice to know that we have players that can make a 2-yard play into a 20-yard play. We have guys that can make a 5-yard catch into a 60-yard run after catch. So the biggest thing I've seen, obviously I'm not in meetings, so I can't speak on the coaching aspect of it, but as long as you have guys that can make plays and show that speed, it changes everything for us.
Now, obviously, he is fast too, but a guy like Charles Asselin running the ball, like he is a workhorse, and I'm expecting with Amaclar kind of moving on up into the next level that Charles is going to see his workload increase. Kind of talk about his growth over the last 2 seasons now.
Charles had a similar path to what I had coming as a rookie. And what I mean by that is that he played his first year and he had an impact for the team in his first year. And players like that, it's amazing to see them grow because once they get to that third, fourth year, they've made a drastic jump, right? And Charles is one of those guys who he's been producing for us, but I know he wants to do more, and this is finally going to be his opportunity to do more. So it's going to get spread out. Obviously, it's not just going to be the Charles show. I know he wished it was, but it won't just be a Charles show. But he's excited for it, and you can tell. And he's coming into this year. He's not the same guy. Like he's embraced a role that he knows he's going to have to embrace, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it shows up in game because it's only a matter of time for him. It's when we watch film, we see him, he splits through the smallest gaps and just gets out. And that speed, that top speed he has is very hard, even for the DBs. So yeah, Charles, he's very fortunate to have started young and he's still going and he's still improving every year. And this year is just going to be such a big jump for him because he finally gets to fill that role that he's been waiting on.
All right, now let's talk a bit about you guys getting to play all your games at TD Place. I mean, a couple years ago, we saw you guys kind of move away while Lee's was getting resurfaced. But now it looks like most of your games are going to stay at TD Place. What's it like for you guys to kind of play on that bigger stage where the Red Blocks are instead of up by the 417 where you guys usually have?
Oh, it's great. It's great. I mean, Lee's is home and everybody loves Lee's. But I mean, playing in a CFL stadium, you can't compare that, right? The atmosphere, the locker room, the hallways, the turf, the giant instant replays that we get after every play. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that get that, right? It's crazy to be able to make a play and you can literally just watch it happen. You make a bust, you can watch it happen. It's huge. I love playing at TD, and the atmosphere, it's a big stadium. So sometimes you don't realize how full it truly gets because you can never fill out the Red Black Stadium, but it's the spread is nice, and I think that it's it's become home to a lot of our players. Me personally, I've been playing there for 3 years now, and I love playing there. And the film is amazing. We got a cameraman standing on the other side of the street on a building filming us, and it's just perfect. So when we watch film after games, we know not to take that kind of stuff for granted because we know some teams don't have the opportunity. But it's like I said, it's become home for us to from the locker room to the hallway to the coming out to the field to the turf itself, how thick the sidelines are. It's really nice.
Do you think it has correlated to the I think you haven't lost a Panda game, have you?
Oh, it's been I personally, I've never lost the Panda game.
I was like,
Personally.
oh, maybe there's a little correlation here. You're used to the field, and then you guys continue to win it. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, last year we were the away team, but anytime we play at TD Place at this point, it feels like home to us. So we were okay with
Mhm.
it. We were really okay with it.
Now, kind of what's that experience like? Like we've talked to a ton of you Ottawa guys, like even way back we talked like Nate Bahar from Carleton about it, and everyone kind of says like that you don't understand how crazy it is until your first snap.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets so hectic. It's really in the moment you have to take it in, right? Because it's the biggest youth sports game in Canada, and it's nothing can top it because of the atmosphere, the energy, the students. It's really great. But one thing I can say, and I've told the guys as they're moving up and they're starting to embrace the starting role, is that it's nice in between plays, in between quarters. But when the play is happening, you kind of forget about all of it. You kind of focus in, you dial in on the field. But when you get past halftime, third and fourth quarter tight game, it gets hectic. I remember a few years ago, the offense would catch a punt, and as soon as we catch the punt, the crowd goes crazy. We haven't even done anything with it yet, but the crowd's going crazy, right? There's an incomplete pass and crowd's going insane. It's a great atmosphere to be a part of it. When I originally committed to Ottawa U, I made sure that I didn't keep Panda into consideration for my commitment because I didn't. It's a driving factor, right? And I didn't want that to be a driving reason and things happen, but as a result of me getting Panda, it's like a bonus and it's an amazing bonus to have. It's the season is great, but when you get to Panda Week, it's like a different energy. It's like a intercity rivalry that drives, and it's like I have people that I don't even speak to that talk to me about Panda. I have people that I used to go to elementary school with that are at the game telling me, "Oh, it was a great game." So it's that the Panda game itself is so much fun, and I'm so grateful to get to experience it as many times as I did and walk away with a dub every time.
All
A little
right.
bit of a humble brag there, a little bit of a humble brag, but
Yeah.
that's all right. I as special as a game as that is, you guys still do have a week one to play. Western, how do you prepare for a team like that with a guy under center like Evan Hillock, as cerebral as he is, as one of the leaders on the defense? When you guys are kind of preparing to go into this Western week, how do you guys deal with a quarterback like a Hillock?
Um, it's interesting because kind of even in training camp, we are already talking about we got Western week one, and it's tough because we know that training camp we got to focus on ourselves and work our technique, work our fundamentals, and be the best that we can be. And now training camp is over, we're kind of switching into the Western role. And the biggest thing that we're focusing on is not to get caught up in the hype, not to get caught up in the name, not to get caught up in the records of past years. Every year is a new year, and every year you got to prove yourself once again, right? So it's going to be week one. It's a brand new Western team. It's a brand new Gee-Gees team. It's up there, and whoever wants to grab it can take it, right? So the vets on the team know last year we had them. At halftime we were up. Things happened third and fourth quarter, but we saw that it's like, hey, if we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, we can really hang and we can really do what we got to do to come out with a dub. So it's really to us, it's all about playing the best GG football. It's not about beating Western. It's not about taking down these big bad guys. It's really about one game closer to us getting to the goal, which is to win a Vanier, right? So it is a big game, and I'm happy it's happening week one so that we can compare ourselves to what we need to get to early on in the season. But it's Western it's a hype, but at the end of the day, we just got to be ourselves. If we be ourselves and we play the way we're supposed to play, it doesn't really matter who's in front of us.
I think with that, I think we're pretty much good, man. Like that was fantastic. So we really appreciate you having the time to join us, and and being so open about the upcoming season for you guys in Garnet and Gray. I know Connor's excited. I'm excited to see your secondary
Always.
fly around. I'm like, oh, they've got so many big names, and we just can't wait to watch. So
Oh yeah.
to see you guys get to put it all together on tape will be special this year for sure.
We're looking forward to it. We're counting down the days. It's going to be really fun. It's going to be a long season, and we're looking forward to it.
I appreciate it. So once again, Kevin Victome from the Ottawa Gee-Gees.